Orale Batos, estoy Luke Radowski, the WeAreChange here in yet another edition of What the Hell Really Happened. You know, all the Democratic presidential candidates for Hables Espanol, why not give it a little try here? But regardless of that, in this video, we are going to be talking about how protests actually work, as demonstrated with the latest case in Puerto Rico, how Ricky Gervais is in trouble, the female Thor is in trouble, the US dollar is in trouble, Bernie Sanders is in trouble, and some of them are deserving of that trouble. Some of them are not. Find out in this video which ones are and which ones are not. And of course, we're also going to go into the long, boring, unexciting, very plaid-worthy testimony of Robert Mueller. So excited, guys. But before we do that, and a lot more, don't forget that you're watching an independent media organization that is being screwed by Google. And the best way to fight off the big technocratic machine is to not use it. And that's why we have an affiliate code with the Brave browser, a privacy crypto-backed browser that not only safeguards your privacy, but gives you cryptocurrencies for using it. This is something that I've been personally using, something that I'm really happy about, something that has saved me a lot of time, and something that I have a lot of people coming to me with saying, hey, this was actually good. Yeah, we promote good stuff here, okay? We're not shilling for something we don't believe in. We believe in this browser, and we believe it's in the best interest of you and me if you use it because it's free. There's no reason you shouldn't be using Brave right now. Just follow the link in the description below, and if you use it for over 30 days with our affiliate code, you also support independent media and gain cryptocurrencies. Now, moving forward to, of course, the biggest news of the day, and that is I can't believe how boring this was. And that, of course, is Mueller time, which is still happening as we are speaking right now. And to me, and I bet probably everyone watching, this is just a big nothing burger. And it shouldn't be a surprise. Well, unless you've been watching MSNBC and CNN, that hasn't been truthful about this entire situation for years now and has been discredited with their ratings going down, but people realizing how full of crap they are. Sorry, sorry. A little passionate here. But what we're hearing today is nothing different from what we've learned in the official Mueller report. There is no new information. And as Michael Tracy puts it, Mueller gives the impression that he was hidden away in an assisted living home while other people conducted his investigation and wrote the report. Now, the reason I believe that this is an accurate assessment of what's happening here is because Robert Mueller had a very vast and large access to investigate Donald Trump, conducting a multi-million-dollar investigation with the fullest resources of the U.S. federal government, and yet he can't comment on issue after issue today to exactly what happened during this investigation. Some people have even categorized him as a champion of not answering questions. And again, we have to remind people the reason why this investigation started was because of fallacies from Donald Trump's political opponents. The whole investigation was started off a lie. So what do you expect that kind of investigation to open up? And again, they investigated Donald Trump severely, and yet, again, this is a big egg in the face of the mainstream media and, of course, the establishment Democrats. What even Bill Maher saying, quote, if this Mueller testimony was supposed to be the movie, it's a Terrence Malick movie. Democrats are a political party that does not know how to do politics, whose movies could be described as human dramas, poetic human dramas, highlighting sad, traumatic human events in history. There's even some freakouts here. Now, very interestingly, of course, regardless of what's happening here, regardless of the truth and facts, which don't matter to people on the left and people on the right predominantly, people are still trying to figure out a political win out of this situation, with the left kind of focusing on this major testimony where Robert Mueller said no to Congressman Jerry Nadler when asked, what about the total exoneration? Did you actually totally exonerate the president? And Robert Mueller said no. And again, this is nothing new. This is absolutely nothing new. We knew that from, of course, the report that was released. People on the right-wing side are going after this specific clip where Robert Mueller was asked and given the opportunity to address whether or not information of the pre-dawn raid against Roger Stone was leaked to CNN or not? And Robert Mueller, of course, refused to answer that question. But again, he refused to answer many questions today, predominantly the majority of questions today. And that's why I'm declaring this Mueller hearing, what I've been declaring this whole Russian bull crap that has been going on for the last 3 years, as a nothing burger. I've been saying that for a while. I've been attacked for it. I've been labeled and obscured from the internet. Wikipedia attacked me and literally stated that they can't ever use me as a source or even mention me on Wikipedia because I don't believe in this whole Russian collusion narrative that was being pushed on by the mainstream media, which is absolutely false, which is leading to this crescendo, which is leading to this moment where, again, mainly the establishment and the Democrats and the mainstream media have absolute egg on their face for their dishonesty, for their disingenuous ploy for power, which ultimately this was. And hopefully we could put the nail in the coffin through this insane, stupid saga and move forward with actual issues that do matter instead of the little Russian boogeyman that never really existed. Hopefully we can move away from the paranoia, from the delusion. And again, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but this, again, has ensured that he will not be impeached and has only empowered him politically. There's no denying this fact. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. And now moving forward in other stories with people with egg on their face, we of course have Bernie Sanders, who is encapsulated very, very accurately, in my opinion, in this photo. As we are finding out today, that his campaign is being hit with a federal labor complaint. This, of course, was done by an unnamed individual and on the heels of a union recently winning a pay raise following negotiations with Bernie Sanders, but not before Bernie Sanders tried to finagle out of this situation, where, of course, he was caught not paying his staff $15 an hour, something that he has scolded many corporations, many American businesses for not doing themselves. Again, Bernie Sanders has been one of the biggest proponents advocating for a $15 minimum wage, scolding other people for not doing so. Meanwhile, it came out that he wasn't doing that himself. And when this issue came up to him and his staff and his campaign, well, Bernie Sanders decided to cut his staffers' hours so they couldn't effectively be paid a $15 minimum wage. And yeah, that looks pretty bad for Bernie. That's definitely not dignifying. But after this prolonged and very media-heavy dispute, union representatives and the Bernie Sanders campaign actually struck a deal, and now Bernie Sanders will actually pay the people working for him the $15 per hour, which of course he was campaigning on. And hey, $15, let's make that $20 an hour. Hey, why not 25? Why not 30? Why not 35? Why not let the federal government decide every aspect of our life and how business should be conducted? And again, this just shows you how absolutely idiotic and insane government is and how it is never enough from bottom-feeding parasites, also known as politicians, that want the government in every aspect of your life. And again, this issue is a very complicated one with many aspects regarding robotics, regarding immigration, regarding the importation of foreign labor groups into this country, making labor cheaper, and the ability of monopoly mass corporations who are being incentivized with tax breaks and have a cozy relationship with government that screw all of us over. But again, the answer should never be the government, since the government created a lot of the other aspects that make it unlivable for many people to even get by on just one freaking job. I'm sorry, I'm ranting here. And I'm trying to just make you guys understand here that the government that created the problem in the first place with just the overbearing taxes, regulations, while at the same time propping up their buddies in big industries, giving them tax incentives while taxing everyone else, has destroyed the middle class. I do not believe that this same institution will fix a problem that has created so many of them in this particular regards. And even though Rashid Tlaib may be trying to do this genuinely out of the goodness of her heart, possibly, she still has to understand the larger ramifications of this, which will lead to, of course, disastrous consequences, which we have seen throughout history when government gets more and more involved in our lives. And just like this meme highlights, When you look at the private sector and public sector, there's a big difference here on how the government conducts their business and how private individuals do. But when it comes to innovation, with the ability to manipulate, spy, track, and watch every of our movements, creating a track, trace, and database society, or creating weapons to maim, kill, or just eviscerate people, the government takes that very seriously, and their innovation is very good. But everything else is just crap. And that's just what I think. Now, in other news about our beautiful, welcoming, diverse, progressively moving towards society, we have Ricky Gervais, comedian, being called out for being a transphobe for defending a private business rights, refusing to wax the genitalia penis of a woman. Hold on here. I know you might be a little confused. Everyone is with what's going on in our society. But this story is regarding a person bodied as a man who identifies as a woman's hearing, and that's happening right now in the Human Rights Tribunal in Canada, regarding that this male-bodied woman with a penis wants to have her penis and balls waxed as a Brazilian wax, and many of the women performing these waxes who are not trained in performing these things don't want to do it to him, since they think they might hurt him, since might hurt her, since her has balls and a penis, and oh goodness, I'm in trouble. But regarding that confusing particular situation, Ricky Gervais, we covered it a couple days ago. Ricky Gervais tweeted about this situation, quote, "How did we get to the point where women are having to fight for the right to choose whether they wax some big old hairy, family-friendly show, penis and balls or not? Is it not a human right to have your meat and two veg polished?" This, of course, led to an outcry calling Ricky Gervais a, quote, transphobe, which is going to be interesting to see how that situation unfolds, because just for this particular comment, I mean, people have gone to jail in the United Kingdom for far less. People are being arrested in the UK right now for offensive posts, offensive jokes, being arrested for misgendering particular groups of individuals who want to be gendered a specific way, even though their biology may be different. We even randomly met a person when we were doing random streeters in the United Kingdom, a man who was literally arrested, had to go through major court proceedings because of an accidental misgender. And this was just a random person that we met walking in the streets talking to random individuals about this very issue, and this man had to deal with the full legal repercussions of the state because of the heinous act of accidentally misgendering someone. And the insanity and the outrage continues in our culture, as we also have the latest outrage with people being angry that a new Marvel movie character was described as the female Thor instead of just Thor, with many people outraged that the word female was being used to describe a female character. Again, this is the wet dream of any authoritarian technocrat, with people policing themselves, trying to eviscerate, destroy free speech in our society by controlling each other through the basic aspects of fear and the delusion that somehow if you're able to squash speech, you're able to gain power. This is a delusion that is taken away from real conversations that need to be had in our society and are creating a major disservice in our life. And it needs to be called out for the hooey that it absolutely is. Because as that nonsense is happening, real issues like the power of the dollar as the world's reserve currency and its limited status, which most likely it is in, which most likely it will be ending sometime in our lifetime, is something that will have grave, severe socioeconomic ramifications, especially on the way of life in the United States, especially on the way that geopolitics is played out throughout the world. We have to understand there's major changes that are upon us that will be far more severe, that will be something that we should be discussing and preparing about, but we're not. Also, in Puerto Rico, we're finding out that protests work. Also, another thing that the kind of establishment media doesn't want you to know, as we're finding out that right now, after massive protests in Puerto Rico against their governor, accusing him of major corruption after private emails and communications of the governor were leaked, highlighting how the state was screwing over the people. We are finding out, this is just breaking news right now, is beginning impeachment proceedings against their governor. Already finding, quote, 5 offenses that constitute grounds for impeachment, highlighting once again, if people go out there into the streets, make an issue out of not wanting to be screwed, the government has no other action but to act in the interest of the people, because the government cannot exist if it's not for the people, and our acquiescence and our ability to believe in the falsehood of government itself. And I believe if we stop perceiving that we need government, we actually wouldn't, because we would be responsible individuals that would, as proven by the private market, create a better way of life, create more solutions, create more innovations, create more freedom and liberty without it. That's my personal point of view. What do you think? If you think I'm completely wrong, I will respect your opinion. Call me a big-nosed, balding Putin son. I don't care. I appreciate the conversation, especially the snarky comments, and of course, even more, the constructive criticism on how to make this show better. We release a video every single day here on this independent media broadcast, and it wouldn't be possible without you watching and sharing. Again, YouTube's not recommending this video to anyone else. It's only up to you, and that's why I thank everyone who shares this video. You doing that, we're finally able to somehow live and survive, and that's why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.